Out of some breaking news that'll impact thousands of workers in North Texas. Southwest Airlines is being hit with yet another shakeup, and the company just announced plans to lay off more than 1,700 employees.
We want to get straight to senior reporter Teresa Woodard, who is following this breaking story from our newsroom. Teresa?
Chris, Cynthia, these are the first layoffs in Southwest's 53-year history. 1,750 positions will be cut, all at the corporate level. So this will certainly have a major impact on those Love Field headquarters. Southwest says this represents about 15% of corporate positions, including senior leadership. The company says the move will save around $300 million annually moving forward. Bob Jordan, the president and CEO, released a statement saying in part, quote, "This decision is unprecedented in our 53-year history, and change requires that we make difficult decisions. We are at a pivotal moment as we transform Southwest Airlines into a leaner, faster, and more agile organization." This announcement, of course, comes as Southwest is making several changes to service. They just added red-eye flights last week. They are introducing assigned and premium seating in 2026. But Southwest is also in the midst of a board shakeup after that really difficult battle with an activist investor, Elliott Management. Clearly stressful times at Southwest, and of course the big question now, what's next for this iconic Dallas company? We'll have more perspective on that tonight on WFAA News at 10.
I'd like to say, calling Allah Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shalom Kakadash, to honor the Apostle Elsewhere Millstone, peace, station, hope for elect. I know this article is going to be a little recap of what the video mentioned, but anyways, the article from the dailymail.co.uk says Southwest Airlines slashes thousands of jobs and first ever mass layoffs sparking routes will be cut. It says Southwest Airlines plans to cut 15% of its corporate workforce in a bid to cut costs. The layoffs, a first in the airline's 53-year history, will slash around 1,750 jobs. So that's 1,750 right there. It says the cuts make a shift in strategy following last year's battle with activist hedge fund Elliott Investment Management to keep Elliott at bay. Bosses agreed to cut costs and find new ways to make money, such as charging for seating. Unlike its rivals, Southwest had long avoided mass job cuts even during economic downturns, 9/11 and the pandemic. But after a hiring spree in the recent years, the airline is now under investor pressure to rein in costs. Rising labor expenses from new union agreements and inflation have squeezed profit margins despite strong travel demand. Some fear it could mean more cuts to routes, but bosses say these job cuts are focused on cutting head office jobs, especially those in roles that overlap. CEO Bob Jordan acknowledged the corporate workforce that had grown faster than the rest of the airline and said the decision was made to improve efficiency. "We must ensure we fund the right work, reduce duplicate efforts, and have a lean organizational structure that drives clarity, pace, and urgency," Jordan wrote in a message to employees Monday. Southwest Airlines is targeting corporate and management roles in its job cuts, eliminating 11 senior leadership positions. The restructuring is expected to save $210 million this year and $300 million in 2025. It comes after cuts to routes last year, plus the axing of perks. In September, Southwest cut almost a third of its flights to and from Atlanta in a blow to the city and staff based there. The loss of flights at Atlanta comes after even more drastic changes in April, when Southwest axed flights to 4 airports and fired 2,000 staff. In September, Southwest also said it's axing its popular open seating policy after half a century. It said it will soon charge passengers a fee to pick a seat. Activist investors had also demanded that Southwest Iconic bags fly free perk is ditched. They said that charging for baggage would bring in tens of millions of dollars in revenue, but for now the perk is staying. Let me see. It says Southwest, which once boasted a record of 47 consecutive years of profit prior to the pandemic, is currently struggling to regain sustained profitability. A report out earlier this year showed how airlines, including Delta, United, and American, pocketed a staggering $33.3 billion from just baggage fees last year, a sharp 15% rise from $29 billion in 2022. The sum is solely made up of fees from larger carry-on bags, standard checked baggage fees, and fines for overweight or extra large checked bags, and accounted for 4.1% of global airline revenue last year. Meanwhile, in January, there was backlash against Southwest for letting able-bodied flyers use wheelchair assistance to board early. A passenger tweeted that he had counted 30 people get early boarding after linking up in wheelchairs, but only 2 needed them to disembark. He wrote, suggesting 28 passengers has either been cured on the flight or were gaming the system. Under the tweet, other Southwest customers slammed those using the loophole, saying it was unfair on those who are genuinely disabled, as well as the few that paid for early boarding. Wow. So, without further ado, I'll just bring out some scriptures a little and make this less edifying. So, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4. It says, and the doors, well, actually, I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders tease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the streets. When the sound of the grinding is low, he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So in this case, of course, that happened during the pandemic, to a degree. And, of course, these things that are prophesied in the scriptures, it happens gradually. It may not hit all the time at a full 100%, but there's things that play its part, and things happen gradually. Certain things make it come back, and it happened before, and it's going to happen again, but as the scriptures say, there's a time and a place for everything, and even when it's coming to prophecy as well. And with that being said, this ultimately, with this whole Southwest Airlines, that's the company's name, they're seeing like losses that's happening within their company from the financial aspect of it. And now they mentioned about cutting like even high management level jobs too. So a lot of people will think to themselves that usually they cut people that are like frontline workers, like low level workers and things of that nature. But realistically, you people up in management level positions, or that hold these executive level positions, sometimes some companies decide to go as far as even cutting certain executives as well. Because if I'm not mistaken, they mentioned about cutting off senior leadership positions, and even cutting like corporate and management roles. That's what is being targeted within the job cuts. And you best believe a lot of women are pretty much in those roles, and they hold those high level positions in the company. And sometimes what these bozos really don't be understanding when it's coming to getting, let's say, certain jobs and things of that nature. Usually when it's coming to a lot of these private companies, and these companies, they'll get rid of you and let you go, and then it's gonna be like you have to pretty much start over from square one to getting a job. That's why it's always best to go as far as trying to make sure that you don't only stay within one job that you're working in, that you also go as far as putting yourself out there, being skilled in other areas too. You know what I mean? Not only just being skilled in one thing, and then at the same time as you're skilled in different areas, that you also apply for like some city jobs as well, and things of that nature, and even putting a test for them too. So at least when they call you and things of that nature, you already, got something you can look back to. And ultimately, it's always best to even go as far as trying to set something up to where you could even work for yourself or things of that nature. Because it's coming to these jobs nowadays, companies are all about profits, and you best believe they're going to be cutting people off once they experiencing certain net losses, because companies first and foremost are about their money. And dumbass Eve talking about the so-called Black Hispanic Native American woman amongst our nation that want to be boss bitches and want to seek to get a corporate career over starting a family, that they prioritize the career first. I got news for you. You're going to see a lot of companies that's going to be pushing these massive layoff headlines very soon, in the near future. Because you got to understand, companies trying to get back from the financial burden that they suffered during the pandemic. So they're trying to find a way to, financially thrive again. And very soon, a lot of you women of our nation, and just in general, all you women in America, you very soon are going to understand and realize, Esau for what he really is. And he's a lying piece of shit ass devil, because you're going to get to see that this man, he's not really about you women and what, he claimed that he tried to help you women get liberated and trying to help you women get your feminist power and all that shit. All that was just a ploy just to keep, the family unit divided amongst each other. And all that was just meant for the purpose of them dividing and conquering us, making us go through all types of warfare, amongst the society, so that we won't be able to, go as far as staying awoke to the game that the government is, playing against the people. And, very soon your woman gonna get to realize, Esau for the devil that he really is when he start, divorcing you. And this is one of the ways that he's gonna do that, by the layoffs. Next thing you know, it's gonna be the financial support that you women be receiving, and then very soon you're gonna have to run back and rely on the same men that you've did wrong. You better pray to the Most High that it wasn't a man in the Lord that you did wrong. So other than that, let me see, I'm gonna bring out Isaiah 32, and start at verse 9. It says, so rise up, you women that are at ease, and hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless woman, for the venture shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruit of the vine. Right. And so with that being said, all you women are getting to, see, very soon in the near future, what's to come down to the pipeline. And this is going to bring a lot of discomfort to a lot of you, quote unquote boss bitches, you career woman, you so-called independent woman. Y'all gonna receive a rude awakening. So ain't no more corporate leadership or management on roles that you're gonna be doing within a company, especially in a company that in this case is having massive layoffs, like the airlines. And very soon in the near future, you ain't gonna have any of those corporate or management level positions, because in Jacob's trouble, the only leadership roles and the management roles that you're gonna have is in the household, doing all that cooking and cleaning and basically organizing the house, doing what you was meant to do. you know, the actual feminine roles, the roles that actually, you know, maintain the household and keep the house in check, you know, with its maintenance, and also keeping your husband in check, which will be a man of the Lord in that sense. And that's if he takes you in to the will of the Heavenly Father. You know, you're going to have management responsibilities, and you're going to have leadership responsibilities regarding that, and you're going to have to teach the other woman how to have those things as well and how to develop it, you know, because that's the job that you women are going to have. Learning how to cater to your husband, learning how to be his personal assistant, not learning how to be an administrative or executive assistant for a company, or a personal assistant for, you know, a whole nother family. Because sometimes there's, you know, people that hire, like, you know, personal assistants or so to take care of their, you know, duties while they're away traveling or so, you know, or while they probably might be, you know, sick at home or things of that nature. So they hire some people to take care of their daily duties and things of that nature. And you women are going to do all that, you know, for a man in the Lord and for his household as well. And, you know, taking care of the kids and things of that nature. That's what your goal is going to be like in Jacob's trouble, because that's going to be, you know, your ticket to salvation. And when you're offered the opportunity to doing what's required of you to receive salvation, you know, you're going to work on, you know, getting comfortable to doing that and disciplining yourself on how to do it, you know, because when you see the destruction that's going to take place and see everyone's judgment around you and all that outside of the man of the Lord's household, you're going to take that opportunity, you know, you're going to take it seriously, and you're going to, you know, take it without hesitation. So that's pretty much it on that. I like to say, call William La Yahweh Bashim Ashar Bashim Kakadash, the bottom to the apostle, the Great Millstone, peace out, teaching, full lecture.